This year they have flocked to the Dome in record numbers, hoping to see history being made before their very eyes. Well, last year very few saw it with the naked eyes, but the replays show them the hidden ball trick of the Gate brothers. That was against Navy in the NCAA tournament. This year, Syracuse picked up right where they left off, overwhelming a strong North Carolina team in the first game of the year. It would be win number 1 in a perfect 10-0 regular season. Paul Gate and Gary Gate are closing in on a combined 300 career goals. Today, they make their final Carrier Dome appearance before the Syracuse fans and a man who has to feel as if he's been blessed, their head coach, Roy Simmons. Roy wasn't too happy, though, about the fact that Brown University decided not to play Syracuse during the regular season this year after having played them in each of the 4 previous years. Coach Don Starsha has Brown in the NCAA tournament this year. They defeated Massachusetts to get here. The last time Syracuse and Brown played, it was at Providence, and the Brown Bears drew first blood, beating Matt Palem. That touched off an early celebration for Brown, but it proved to be short-lived. Because if it wasn't the big guns like Gary and Paul Gate, or the crafty players like Tom Marachek, it was the pesky little guys like Brooke Chase. Their goalie Steve Ayers, forced out of his cage, has to contend with Chase, who was relentless. The ball came loose. Chase beat Ayers to the loose ball. Then with the goalie hopelessly on the ground and locked out of his own house, Brooke Chase put in one of 15 Syracuse goals in an easy win last year. Today they meet for the first time since then. Super Sports, a production of Cook Cablevision of Syracuse, presents Syracuse University Lacrosse. Today an NCAA Division I quarterfinal round game featuring the Brown Bears, who are 11-4, and the undefeated and top-ranked 2-time defending national champion Syracuse Orangemen. And hi again, everybody. Dave Cohen along with Dale Drypulcher. You know, this is the time of the year when thoroughbreds are much in the news, and Syracuse has a stable full of thoroughbreds led by the entry of 1 and 1A, Gary and Paul Gate. There won't be a Triple Crown winner on the tracks, but Syracuse is looking to win their 3rd national championship in a row. And can Brown pull a trick out of the Ivy League, as Penn almost did, and surprise Syracuse and upend them?
A lot of things that have to fall into place. One of them is to really dominate face-offs, control the tempo of the game, play a good zone defense, and hope everything falls for you. But you're right, they don't have the horses, but stranger things have happened. I think it's going to be interesting to see the game plan that Dom Starcher comes up with and how Syracuse counteracts it.
Well, defensively, they might go to a zone defense. What does that mean?
I definitely think you're going to see a zone. Well, it's going to slow the game down. It doesn't get those one-on-one matchups where the Gates or Marachek or Egan or one of those guys can break loose on somebody. And it really is team defense, a lot of sliding, allows you to double team. That's what they have to do.
It's a very ugly day in Syracuse outside, but we're playing under perfect conditions. The last time, though, that Brown played against the University of Massachusetts, they were outdoors in terrible weather. They say much worse than what we've had here today. They came from behind and they defeated UMass to get here today. Let's talk about some of the offensive people for Brown University.
Well, they've got a couple of sophomores, and talking to Syracuse, they say that they've out-recruited us a couple times. Darren Lowe, now here's a kid, he's got 86 points, he's got 63 assists. He's the guy they're going to go to. He's going to feed people. He's the kind of guy that really makes the offense go. He can also get it to Towers. Now this kid's 6'4", he's an attack man, he's going to be open, he's got a big frame to hit. We're going to see who matches up with him defensively. I think it's going to be McCabe.
Is height a factor in lacrosse?
It is a little bit, I think, not as much as it is in other sports, but we'll see if it bothers McCabe. I doubt it. That's just my own supposition at this point.
Well, if Towers gets positioned for a post-up kind of move in lacrosse where he can stay in the crease and spin and pivot on the goal, he'll be facing Matt Palem. Palem has missed starting the last 4 games. Lee Hine won all those games in his place, but when Matt is at his best, this is how he can play.
Well, he's just a super goalie. The thing that I really like about him is the fact that 9 times out of 10 he controls the rebound, but when he doesn't, he's always got good vision and he's waiting for the next shot to come. And this flurry against Hobart, he did a super job.
And that is a Hobart team that, of course, went on to win their 11th straight national championship. But Matt Palem gives Syracuse such an emotional lift when he's in there, and he's particularly good on the outlet after making this stop.
Well, he definitely is. One of the problems is he had a knee injury. I think it may chain him a little bit closer to the goal. He's not going to be as sharp, I think, coming out, but the passes are still going to be there, but don't look for him to travel too far downfield.
Of course, the winner of today's game will go on in advance of the Final Four of lacrosse, but this is also a going away, a farewell party for the Gates and 13 Syracuse seniors. I don't know if there's ever been any more beloved athletes than these two brothers who came all the way from British Columbia.
I really think not, and the fans are really looking for something special today, and I think they're going to get it.
They almost always do get something. We'll keep our eyes and our replay machines rolling in case we can't catch it with the naked eye. Stay with us. Today's game is brought to you by Coors, brewery fresh, pure and natural. Coors, it's a true American original. By Pepsi, a taste generations ahead. By Silo, everything that turns you on. And by Drumlins, for golf, tennis, swimming, banquets, and all your travel needs, it's Drumlins. Today's game is also brought to you by Onondaga Sports Medicine. We don't just get you back on your feet, we get you back in the game. By Guinness Gold and the Guinness Import Company. Now there's a Guinness for everyone. By Arby's. Tired of burgers? Join the Arby's revolution and break your burger habit today. By Usherwood Business Systems. In a world full of copies, it's the people who make the difference. By the Heart of New York Chevy dealers. We've got the value, we've got the best. And by Fairmount Carpet and Linoleum. You walk on our reputation.
Many of you have asked, why is Coors Light the official beer of the 90s? Well, by now, many of you might be asking, why am I wearing fuzzy slippers? Now, let's look at them both objectively. The silver bullet is the one that won't slow you down. That makes it perfect for the fast-paced 90s. And as for my slipper as well, sometimes I just like to feel pretty. I'm glad we could have this talk.
I'm shocked. I made a challenge to any celebrity who's ever done a Diet Coke commercial to come on TV with me and take a taste test against new Diet Pepsi. But no one showed up, and I'm sitting here with an empty chair. Now, maybe somebody's stuck in traffic or their limo broke down, but maybe they already know that the taste of new Diet Pepsi beats Diet Coke. Now, come on, all you Diet Coke celebrities. You're not afraid of a little Diet Pepsi, are you? Or are you?
New Diet Pepsi with 100% NutraSweet.
Silo. Satisfaction guaranteed.
Satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. Silo, everything that turns you on.
Now.
There's a place where jeweled horses still dance in the sun. Children dream, and the magic of a carousel is the spirit of a festival. The I Love New York Summer Festival in Binghamton and Broome County. Come for the fun, the color, the food, and the fabulous adventure. The I Love New York Summer Festival. Call 1-800-836-6740 and discover the child in us all.
And we're back with you in the Carrier Dome in Syracuse. Dave Cohen and Dale Drypolcher, Super Sports coverage of Syracuse University in their first NCAA lacrosse game of the year. Syracuse getting a bye in the first round, and right now we'll throw you to the public address announcer, Carl Eilenberg, here in the Dome for the introduction of his starting lineups.
On-campus sports facility in America, the home of fine student athletes, great teams, and terrific fans. This afternoon, it's the exciting, fast-moving, hard-hitting world of intercollegiate lacrosse and an NCAA championship quarterfinal game featuring the Brown University Bears and the two-time defending national champions from Syracuse University. And now the starting lineups for this afternoon's NCAA quarterfinal championship game. For the Bears of Brown on the attack, a 5'11 sophomore from Williston Park, New York, wearing number 12, Darren Lowe. From New Canaan, Connecticut, 6'4", sophomore, number 44, Andrew Towers. A 6-foot sophomore from Providence, Rhode Island, number 1, Neil Monroe. The Bear midfielders, a 6-foot senior from Manhasset, Long Island, number 25, Rich Toohey. From Garden City, Long Island, 5'10", junior, number 23, Jay McMahon. The captain of the Bears, 6-foot senior from Severna Park, Maryland, number 20, Tom Dwyer. The Bear defense from Manhasset, 6'3", junior, number 39, Craig Vacris. From Lafayette, New York, 6'1", senior, number 5, Lars Tiffany. And from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania, number 41, 6-foot sophomore, Carter Trudell. The Brown goaltender, 5'11", senior from Charlottesville, Virginia, number 31, Steve Ayers. The head coach of lacrosse at Brown, Dom Starcia. For the defending national champions of Syracuse University. On the attack, 6-foot senior from Fayetteville, New York, number 14, Greg Burns. From Yorktown Heights, New York, 6'1", senior, number 9, Jimmy Egan. A 5'9" sophomore from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, number 42, Tom Marichek.
Let's go.
Syracuse midfielders, the Golden Gate, 6'2" seniors from Brentwood Bay, British Columbia, Canada, number 19, Paul Gate, number 22, Gary Gate. 6'1" senior from Port Washington, New York, number 6, Rodney Dumpson. The Syracuse defense, 5'10" junior from Elmont, New York, number 29, Patrick McCabe. A 6-foot junior from Syracuse, New York, number 43, Eric Holbrook. A sophomore from Fairport, New York, at 6'1", wearing number 39, John Winship. In goal for the Orange, 6'1" senior out of DeWitt, New York, number 10, Matt Taylor. Syracuse University varsity lacrosse coach, Roy Simmons, Jr. Ask you all please to rise and join in the singing of our national anthem.
A banner that says it all about the sport of college lacrosse. Syracuse and Brown, here are today's officials. Raymond Buckley is the referee, George Gadgis is the umpire, Tom Braddock the field judge, and Neil Sprong will be the bench official. If you haven't seen lacrosse before, we play 4 15-minute quarters and, if necessary, a sudden death overtime. In the nets today, starting Matt Palin for Syracuse. He did not start the last 4 games, underwent arthroscopic knee surgery, but he is back now and apparently at close to full strength. He had a very fine showing against the University of Massachusetts. Just saw him shake hands there with Steve Ayers. There's a very close fraternity in this sport. A lot of healthy respect. Most of these players know one another. They've played against each other in summer leagues, amateur competition, but don't think for a second that it will not be intense once we get underway here. Kirk Pratt for Syracuse on the face-off, and Jay McMahon will face off for Brown University. We're underway in the Dome, and the face-off's very important. Nobody controlling this one initially. Brown really hustling for the ground balls. They come up with it and lose it. And this is Gary Gate, number 22. Passing to Paul Gate, behind the back and in. Explosive start for Syracuse.
All as a result of that ground ball after the faceoff was momentarily taken by Brown. They come out to take a chop at him, and he goes behind the back. The man who was after him.
Boy, they didn't even get their seats.
Wasn't close.
Carter Trudell was trying to get Paul Gate, and Paul just went behind his back. Vicious fighting on this faceoff.
Well, they know how important it is.
And it's Gary Gate vacuuming it up again. Going to the right hand. Scored! Immediately, Brown takes a timeout. We are only 29 seconds into this game, and Syracuse has a 2-0 lead, courtesy of the Gates.
A lot of real intensity on this faceoff, but Gary Gate comes up with the loose ball. Actually, the faceoff, Lars Tiffany's going to slide over to try to pick him up on the fast break. He was guarding Egan, and Ayers not able to get a beat on it. And it's just as you said, Dave, in 29 seconds, we've had 2 goals. And Brown, 30 seconds ago, was even. Now they're down by 2.
Dale, about an hour before this game began, they opened up the gates here in the Dome at 1 o'clock. And for those of us who are in the building before the spectators are allowed in, there is always an announcement made from the security office that the gates are now open.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of Brown players on the field who turned around and looked.
Yeah.
They heard that announcement that the gates were open.
See if they're there. There's the right-hand shot, real hard. He had Ayers over to the right side of the goal, and Gary Gate up with his first, and it's 2-0. Now, you know what he said in that timeout? Hey, calm down. It's 2 goals. Yes, they're coming fast. You guys are playing with good intensity. Both wingmen for Brown have those big sticks now.
And this faceoff is gathered in by Kirk Pratt. He'll give it up and head for the bench. Pratt will stay on. He fake going off. He hasn't scored a goal yet this year. Dan Cahey has it now. His teammates call Pratt Curtis, and now he's off the field. And Joe Bonacci comes on, second midfield for Syracuse. We are in the opening minute of the game, and it's 2-0. Bonacci goes to the right hand, feeds in close. Greg Burns stopped, and Ayers finds the ball at his feet, and he looks to outlet. Now he gets it up ahead for Dwyer. Good check to midfield. They can't find the ball. Ricky Kramer applied the trek, and Tom Dwyer picks it up. Syracuse hustling to get back on D. Brown in a settled situation for the first time of the game. They send McMahon on. McMahon gets it down. Number 23, Jay McMahon. Dwyer cutting with Bonacci marking him. Ricky Kramer applies the defense against McMahon. He's going to be helped maybe by Cahey. Weak shot. Palin saw it coming. This is Towers at 6'4" with a shot, and McCabe was in the cage helping out. Here's Lowe. It's blooped in the air. Loose on the turf, and Bonacci has it. Bonacci ducks under Dwyer. Bonacci takes a check, and we get a whistle and a call that'll go against Syracuse.
Didn't get that. Advanced the ball. Had to get it out of there. Didn't advance it, and that's going to cost him a possession.
That's a new rule this year. Sort of like the backcourt rule of basketball. You got 10 seconds to get it across.
And you got to pass it. If it take a long time, he certainly was not trying to stall, but he just couldn't get it out of there.
Sam Jackson, played by Dennis Simmons, getting early action.
Yeah, we've got Winship is on Tower.
Dennis Simmons, no relation to the coach. Generally, we haven't seen him till later in the games, but it is a reduced roster that you use in the NCAA tournament. Here again is Jackson moving on Simmons, getting free for the second, but losing the angle. Good ball movement by Brown. Here's Tui, and Palin might have got a piece of that.
I misspoke. That's Holbrook on Tower, and that's McCabe on Lowe, just as we expected. Lowe, the man with so many assists, is going to have one of the best defensemen in the country dogging him.
Again, it's Simmons guarding Jackson. Nice spin away move. Will he get a shot? He does, and Palin took it away. David Patain with a big stick, trying to keep it in play. He overruns it and it goes out.
Real good hustle by both teams. Towers, Andrew Towers, chased it down and was there to put the pressure on. He's going to have the ball on the far side, and he'll be guarded by Holbrook.
Eric Holbrook, number 43, looking at Towers. Here's a move coming from outside. This is Rob Persing, 34, applying the D. Caleb looking quick in the nets, reacting on that shot.
Brown getting some shots off, and good shots.
And Brown maintains possession. Here comes Towers. Let's see if he uses that height. Switching hands.
That was good body position. Really nice job by Holbrook. When Towers turned around, he only had one place to shoot, and it was really wide of the cage. And there's going to be a timeout here as they get some people in.
Again, you can get a horn to make a substitution if the ball goes out across the back line.
Well, Lowe was out. They want him back in. McCabe picks him up.
Outside to McMahon. Everybody else is bunched up in front of the cage. It's almost a clear-out situation. Back comes to McMahon. He goes low and he scores. Screen shot. He went low, and Palin, I don't think, saw that shot. And it is 2-1. Syracuse leading Brown.
Nice job, patient offense. 7 shots Brown took, has taken about 5 on this particular flurry, and this is the last one. That's going to go in. He takes a low hop, and it goes stick side on Matt. You're going to see another angle of it, trying to push him out, but Persing not able to get the stick on stick.
That may have been deflected off of a foot of one of the Syracuse defenders. Here's Gary Gate picking up his 3rd ground ball in the first quarter. Gary tripped from behind. They say it was legal. Ball pops into the air. It's pulled down by Paul Gate. You can tell them apart today. Gary's wearing those spandex under shorts. Paul is not. Now Rodney dumps it from behind. Or Jim Egan from behind. Out to Gary Gate. He starts his move. He gets a slot. He scores.
They were a little confused defensively there. I don't know. They were playing man-to-man in one spot, looked like zone in another, and somebody didn't communicate. And watch the shot. All right, here's Egan. He gets the ball. Now watch what happens as they move. That Sheehan, and now he just kind of runs off the pick, and nobody picked him up. Nobody slid. I believe Maletta, number 8, should have slid over.
And with that goal by Gary Gate, his second, the brothers have now accounted for 300 career goals. 121 by Paul, 179 by Gary.
2 flags
and
down.
We get 2 flags down, one upfield, one downfield.
Maybe for the same thing. We got a slash on the head, and that's going to cost Brown a minute. First man up, that was Towers, 44, the guy who bounced a little bit of aluminum off Gates' head.
Syracuse is leading at 3-1. We have played 4 minutes of this game.
Very intense minutes. First man up opportunity for anybody.
Correct that. 44 against penalty number 44, Andrew Howard. 1 minute sliding.
You know, when they were talking about...
Here is Paul feeding Gary one more time.
That was very, very heads up by Paul Gate. And, you know, he's going to draw a lot of attention. He steps up like he's going to take the shot. Now, this is a man up. The ball is going to go behind briefly. Now they're watching. And watch him step up to fake left. He could have taken the shot. Instead, everybody draws over to his left where his hand is. Now he leaves Gary one-on-one with the goalie, and that's not very fair.
That is the definition of helpless.
Right.
Syracuse 4, Brown 1. The Gates have all 4. McMahon losing on the face. Egan is in pursuit of the goalie, errs. The cage is open. Instead, they go back to 38 there. Craig Vacris, the defenseman. And here comes Brown up the sideline. Vacris.
He went back. He went back in.
Losing on the pressure from Greg Burns.
As another call. 10 seconds.
Second time we've had that call here in the first quarter, the failure to advance.
I think that's about one more time than we've seen generally during the year. Good pressure. That means the defense is putting a good ride on.
Jim Egan from behind. Maricek is on now. Gary and Paul on the exchange. Paul goes to the right hand. And it is safe, but it comes out and Dumpson puts it back. And it is 5-1 Syracuse. Steve Ayers must have thought, aha, I finally have stopped them.
Well, Paul Gate, watch all the Brown jerseys that go after him, get the stick. Oh, right off his mask. Right off his mask, that bottom neck protector. He finds it, can't control the rebound, and dumps in with that fluid motion, gets it up, out, and back in the cage for goal number 5. And you're going to see it again from the end zone. There's a left-handed shot. You see it bounce off the helmet between that neck protector, but the defenseman knocks it away, and see how quickly Dumpson got rid of that, and we're back to live action. A face-off again to the SU Orangemen.
And they just bounced off of Paul. Now here's Gary feeding it into Burns. Burns in close. Oh, and it's in the net again.
I think Maricek got that one.
And it is an onslaught by Syracuse early. It is 6-1 with 9:45 to go in the first quarter.
Gary Gate passes left-handed over to Burns. Burns feeds the crease. Now they jump. Was it Egan? I'll get the number in a second. Right now you see the rebound not able to be controlled.
Kirk Pratt was down there. He almost had a shot at that rebound.
That's Maricek that gets the rebound. There he is, scoops it. It was Egan that was in there, and then Maricek scooped it and shot it. One motion.
On the face-off, that time it was Tom Gilmartin out to take the face. Towers has it for Brown. Towers carrying it in all the way, checked away from it by Cahey. Now Holbrook up ahead to Kramer. Ricky Kramer, he likes contact. Egan, Maricek, watch the behind-the-back action by Maricek. That shot will keep in Syracuse's possession because Egan was closest to it.
Boy, talk about having to have legs. You really have to be in good shape. These guys have been hustling and hitting for the first 7 minutes, 6 minutes.
Egan for Syracuse. Cahey. Andrew Bolin on now.
There's your zone defense now. You didn't see it before because they were all fast break goals up to this point. Now you've seen a settled Syracuse offense in that zone defense. The idea is you're going to run the same kind of plays they run when they're man up. Because when you're man up, you're always against the zone. And one of the things you can do with the zone that is more difficult when you're man-to-man is double team. Slide over. So that's what they're doing. Brown's got their sticks up. They want to cut the passing lanes down, not let you feed the crease.
Well, if anything, they're getting a breather here.
Well, that's
they've
exactly
got to concentrate.
Right. Which is what happens if you can run that zone. You can slow things down.
8:23 to go in the first quarter. Syracuse 6 and Brown 1. Syracuse being very patient. Kramer loses it but gets it back.
That was
Ricky Kramer.
It was an excellent job by Trudell. That's what that stick's up for. Get those 6-foot sticks up.
Egan sending back behind. They feed up top, intercepted, taken down by Brown. Coming upfield is Drew Polina. Polina racing stride for stride with Cahey. He gives it up and he heads off.
Cahey did a nice job of turning him back. Brown's trying to get some people on.
Neil Monroe, back he goes to Rick Toohey. He's come on along with number 30, Jim Strube, and 16 is Sam Jackson. This is Tui on Kramer, and he scores. Nothing fancy about that. Moving right and shooting back.
Just a sweep. 25, Tui, and as you said, Kramer on him, and he can't. Tries to get the stick in. Just a perfect time to get rid of the shot by Tui. Watch. There's the jump. Now you want to be able to get up stick on stick. He just gets it up, but give Tui credit. It went right between Palem's legs.
And it is now 6-2 as Syracuse has the lead. Rich Tui scoring the second Brown goal. Midway through the first quarter right now. A lot of scoring early on. Here is the face. Won by Syracuse, a shovel pass from Paul Gate. That was intended for Greg Burns, intercepted by Brown. Back comes McMahon, Jay McMahon. Feeding to Neil Monroe. Coming on now is Sean Stolford, number 10 with it. They feed it back to Tui, and his shot is high.
They were trying to screen Palem. They had 3 guys set up right in front of him, and Syracuse a little bit confused about who was taking who, and now they're saying that should have been Syracuse ball.
Now they get a whistle that stops play, illegal procedure signal, and Syracuse is going to get it. Boy, the fans were up in arms about that call.
Too many men on the field, I guess. As I was looking to the left, I did see a whole host of Brown shirts run on there, and apparently too many of them did.
Suppose the fans counted them that quick?
It just doesn't look right.
Well, this is really unusual to see the opponents take as many shots as Syracuse. Nice feed down the middle. It's Paul Gate feeding off to one wing. Maricek back to Paul.
Nice save.
Great save by Ayers. Egan getting into it with Vaccaris in front of the cage. Paul Gate missed that attempt on Phil Maleta. And up it goes to Monroe. He's matched up with Gary. Petain and Persing coming on. And a defense for offense switch. Monroe got free for a minute. There's Dwyer starting his move against Persing. Petain guarding. And that shot stays in Brown's possession. Here's Towers looking for the one-on-one move. A weak shot. McCabe against Lowe. McCabe wielding that big stick. And a save for a pipe shot. And it rolls out to midfield. Kicked across. Monroe is going to get there for Brown. He goes now in the middle of McMahon. Switching left, coming in. Checked away, and a flag. Maybe on Gary Gate.
Should be a hold. A push, okay. Technical. I thought it might be a hold. Watch, he's going to get the hand. No, watch, he's going to bring the stick across there, but he's going to push him with the free hand.
Penalties on Syracuse, 30 seconds. Pushing. 30 seconds.
30 seconds is 30 seconds. First man-up opportunity for Brown.
Now Brown with the extra man opportunity. I think I finally figured out what looks different about Gary Gate in this game.
And that is? Nice
and
save.
A save by Palem against Dwyer. Back it goes now to Tui. He sends it to Lowe, the master feeder. Back it goes to Tui. Good ball movement by Brown.
They're even.
Towers. Matt Moore coming on. Teams at equal strength.
Always
Nobody
confusion.
picks up McMahon. Bounce a shot. Palem stopped it.
There always seems to be any team when you all of a sudden get even and the guy runs on. It's very difficult to see who gets whom. So now we just got Syracuse's familiar man-to-man.
Jackson on the exchange with Tui. 6-2 Syracuse leading. An explosive start by the Orange in this game. McMahon's handled the ball most often, I think, for the Bears. Here's Tui's shot, and Palin saves. Matt giving it up now to Persing. Takes a couple of checks, tiptoes down the sideline, gives it up. Intended for Moore. Moore gets it back. Moore a best
AstroTurf pass.
And the shot and a save. And Brown's going to get it.
Good hustle by Tiffany, number 5, and now they're going to start things right up again. These officials aren't fooling around. You got the ball, we're going to start you.
Ayers has it. They'll ride against him. He fires it way upfield. Intercepted by Moore, but he couldn't handle it. Taken down by Stratton, Todd Stratton. Giving it to McCabe, adept with a behind-the-back pass, but Moore can't handle that one. Picked up there
there's
by
a Ward.
Brown. Lars Tiffany redirects. That's a violation.
See what the officials here were. There's the ball. Watch. That's a Ward. There's another one. That wasn't the call. I don't think. Call a Ward.
Syracuse will.
They just had a discussion. The two officials met. It can't be the call because Brown has the ball.
Yeah,
so.
Syracuse will not have it now.
Right.
Matt Palin credited with 9 saves here in the first quarter.
Been busy.
Ayers by Burns. Up ahead he goes. Tim Strube, number 30. 6-2. We're closing in on 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. There's an AstroTurf pass. And here's Strube against Matt Moore. Big crowd in front of the cage.
Oh, really?
Monroe trying to pop out number 1. Jackson does come out of the pack.
I think the idea is to screen Palin, obviously, is their strategy offensively.
Jackson spins to feed. Nice one-time attempt there in close by number 12, Darren Lowe.
He's in the crease. Syracuse ball. There's the movement by Jackson, and then you see the in the crease right there. One thing I think Brown has done effectively, Dave, is they're riding Syracuse and trying to put pressure on them. Falling off here, pick up Matt Palin when he gets up to around the box, I'm assuming.
All right, what's the strategy here by having Palin walk it up?
Well, he's going to see who jumps him. He takes it over. I don't believe that. Not with that knee.
He's had 2 shots this year. He picks it up. He scores, shoots, and it's saved. His helmet is knocked off as Burns will let the ball roll out of bounds. Lars Tiffany in pursuit. Palin's 3rd shot of the year, and he enjoyed it.
That was scary. I guess they figured maybe with his injury he wouldn't go across, and when they let him, he took it.
He has scored once. That was his 3rd shot.
Woo.
Well, he probably figures Lehine is now a very capable backup.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. I'll tell you what, every time he's taken a shot, he's lost a piece of equipment. His helmet.
Had a stick broken after the goal.
Broken, that's right.
Ballgate to Gary. Now, Gary's wearing shoulder pads, or bigger shoulder pads in this game.
Appears to be, yeah. He's offside.
See, Paul is not, or he's wearing small ones.
Yep.
Darren Lowe pleading his case to no avail.
A lot of body contact, I guess, expected in this game. There's that zone of Brown.
Egan is the man behind. Paul Gate is up at the point. Here's Gary with those shoulder pads. Dumpson rifles to Paul. Return pass. And one more return. Behind the back, over Gary's head. He saves on the sideline, takes a shove and stays in. Egan will handle. Return to Gary, couldn't handle that one. And it's redirected to Ayers. They'll ride at him. Up ahead, 8 is Morena, who pays the price. Egan feeds Dumpson. High shot. Maricek goes back.
Gate broke his stick. Gary Gate's stick broke right in 2.
Play back in, Maricek. The Dumpson will fire.
Woo! That was a I'm still here, don't forget about me shot.
There are some who contend that he owns the hardest shot on this team.
Well, I'll tell you what, he gets it off one of the quickest shots I've ever seen. And there's the Egan.
Ball intercepted. Nice job there, stepping up is Carter Trudell.
That's one of those things in that zone. They try to force that pass.
Egan's going to make Ayers work. Up ahead, Trudell. Burns coming over to play him. 33 is Mike Gannon. Syracuse doing a great job of hustling. Stratton got hit, but they got the ball away. And the Orangemen have it with Paul Gate. Very few will take it from him. Feeding to Dumpson in close. Fake, 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 score.
Yes, yes.
Tom Maricek.
Good thing we got a replay. That's Gate. Way up in the air to Dumpson. Dumpson just manages to get it off to Maricek. And now Maricek, 2, 3, fourth one. Nice pass. Dumpson did a real good job of getting the ball over to him. He got a shot on the stick by O'Connor, but he was able to get it off.
Pretty good hang time by Maricek.
Yeah.
7-2 Syracuse, half a minute to go in the first quarter. Definitely one of the most inspired quarters by Syracuse. There haven't been very many quarters when they've let down this year, but they came out with a purpose in this game and a vengeance.
And they knew it was going to be physical, and the face-offs were really crucial early, and boy, they really went after each other. It's been a great game. Brown not able to do much offensively the last couple of minutes.
Kirk Pratt, time is on his side, and the defense is retreating. Greg Burns, I don't believe, has taken a shot yet. Cahey.
He's going to lose that one. The guys from Brown are ready to go, and the officials are just getting into place.
Palin was out of the cage.
McCabe will just take a
little bit of a run upfield as the first quarter has come to an end. And the most impressive one by Syracuse is they have a lead of 7-2.
In an age of artificial turf and superdomes, there's still a place where the game is pure and rugged, and the beer has to be smooth and refreshing. Introducing Guinness Gold. The golden lager beer that's as uncompromising as the people who drink it. Guinness Gold. Now there's a Guinness for everyone.
When you look into your heart, just let those feelings flow to warm and friendly faces and places we all know. Taking pride in all we are, right here in Syracuse, we're the heart of New York.
You've heard and read a lot by now about the physical dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. I'm sure you've also heard and read lots of stories about the emotional damage that drugs and alcohol can cause. I don't think you can hear those stories too many times. Don't ever forget, you can lose your dreams, you can lose your talent, you can lose your life. The price of a high is too high.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Number 1 in lacrosse. Rugged equipment, made for your game. The best in glove design, pads and sticks for players like you. Ask for Brian, choice of champions.
Part of the crowd here in the Carrier Dome that has filled the upper deck on the south side of the dome. This won't be near the record crowds that Syracuse had earlier this year, crowds of 18,000. But an awful lot of people will be heading down to Rutgers, assuming Syracuse is victorious in this game for the Final Four of Division I lacrosse. Memorial Day weekend. Games on Saturday and Monday. Syracuse is scheduled, if they win, to play in the noon game on Saturday. 4 Ivy League teams, Brown, Harvard, Princeton, and Yale, in the tournament this year. That's a first. All making it to the quarterfinal round as well.
Pratt and Towers out for the faceoff. Towers at 6'4", and he is one of their faceoff men. McMahon was the guy I thought they might put out, but right now they're going with Towers.
And Towers had a chance at winning the face. Gary Gate overran it.
Still isn't
there. It pops into the air and into the stick of Gary. Not coincidental, I'm sure. Greg Burns will be the point man for the moment. Now Egan goes back. Here's a point blank shot.
That was a pill.
Gary.
That was a pill.
There's a good look at those shoulder pads he's wearing. A lot of shots.
Yeah, I was going to say pretty even in the saves department also. Faceoffs definitely have favored Syracuse and has been a definite advantage. They're going to lose this one as we look at man-up goals, 0 for 1, 1 for 1 for Syracuse, and clears 5 apiece. Statistically pretty even, but that faceoff, those 4 other faceoffs can give you lots of goals, and that's exactly what Syracuse did off of those faceoffs early. So that's the 7-2 lead.
And how about the opening minute of the game is Paul and Gary Gate both came up with tremendous goals, and it was 2-0 before people had taken their seats.
Good hustle.
Brown having trouble getting into their offense. McCabe overran it. Here's Monroe with an opportunity, and a bounce shot went by Palem, and Towers couldn't handle the rebound.
Monroe took a high bouncer, and that went way high, but he did get open. Good ground ball for Brown. And now Towers is going to bring it in. He'll be one-on-one.
We're 1 minute into the second quarter, and here's a little bit of a note. You won't want to leave us at halftime. In fact, if you have a VCR, you might want to get it rolling soon, because we'll have a salute to the Syracuse team, and you'll see some of the great performances of the 1990 season coming up at halftime. Andrew Towers playing outside now, getting pressured by Holbrook. He goes over the top and takes it away.
That's a good job, Holbrook. It's over the top, too. That guy's 6'4".
And there he is coming up with a loose ball, getting it ahead to Stratton. Now the big sticks are handling it. Burns is on one wing, Patain on the other. Burns thought about shooting. Maricek now to Egan.
He'll take his time till he get the big sticks off.
Panacci's coming on. Persing is fake going off, and he stayed on. Now they get it to Kramer. Ricky will give ground and kill off some time, allowing Bolin to come on. They'll go back Kramer's way.
Staying with that zone defense.
7-2 Syracuse. No scoring yet in the second quarter.
As I said, the principle is the same as extra man. When you're up, you have to pass that ball and hope you can get somebody sliding the wrong way. Otherwise, they got those big sticks in the passing lanes, and it's hard to work in close against the zone defense. And they hope that something like that happens where you have to pass it so many times, eventually you lose it.
Yeah, you lose your concentration.
Well, you notice how it's slowed down. It's 7-2, and they haven't gotten a shot off there. It just on that particular flurry, they just did a nice job of playing defense.
Up to midfield, where it's played by Trudell. Flag will fly. It's a delayed call against Syracuse. Nice movement, and Lowe gets the goal on the pass by Dwyer.
Nice job after that flag. Dwyer got open.
Play on situation.
Yep. There it is. It was up in the air. There's a push, but he managed to keep the ball in, and Dwyer came up with it. And now he's looking for somebody on that across the crease, and he gets Lowe, and Matt Palem just can't get back in time, and Lowe comes up with goal number 3 for Brown on a pretty pass.
Darren Lowe out of Williston Park, New York, 5'11" sophomore.
Now they think McMahon's back out there. It's still Pratt.
Off the face, it is Gary Gate going to the right hand. In close, and the goal put in by Greg Burns. Greg Burns gets his 29th goal of the year on his 68th shot.
Shows you how important the face-off can be. As I said, they can turn into goals, and when somebody's using the zone defense, they really don't have much of a chance to get back and do anything like that, get in that defense, because they get the ball right away in the crease area and right out in front. Burns just wheels and fires, and there's a little bit of confusion. Nobody picks him up. Tiffany slid over.
There are the Gates coming in off the wing on the face. Neil Monroe going to be played by Matt Moore. I'll make it Pat McCabe. McCabe wields a tremendous stick defensively. Strube. Gate is giving it some room, and Strube sends it back. Now Tui.
Very patient offense. They want to slow it down. And they're going to take all of that 10 seconds, and they get it in.
Monroe on the exchange to McMahon. Monroe regained it, lost it. Taken down by Holbrook. In the middle he goes. Winship having trouble.
That big stick, he's at a disadvantage, but
Maricek checked it away. Paul Gate picks it up. Look how he bounces off of people. Spotting Maricek. Behind the back, nobody there.
Guys are taking a pounding.
I'll tell you, for me, Dale, it's just as impressive to see the way Paul and Gary Gate have people bounce off of them in traffic as any of their shots or passes. Sam Jackson wants the ball. He's open on the right wing, out of the picture right now. McMahon against the retreating Syracuse defense. Matt Moore, 33, is on. He'll play Tui. As McMahon heads to the bench, Sam Jackson will come on and replace him. Brown will kill some time to allow Jackson to come on. Here he is, 16. 17 is Mike Marinelli in the game.
Towers taken way out.
Spread offense. Towers working against Holbrook, and he goes low for the shot. Brown will keep it.
Holbrook has done a real good job on that kid right there so far. Towers, who's an excellent lacrosse player, one of those super sophomores, along with Lowe.
Dan Lannon is on now defensively for the Orange. 48. He's matched up with Jackson. Here is Tui for the shot, and Marinelli will run it down. Outside Jackson. Strube is 30. Persing got his stick on Jackson there. Syracuse player goes down and he's hurt.
Oh, his knee is hurt.
Syracuse player is down and hurt. As the action comes upfield, we have a Syracuse man down in severe pain as Matt Moore looks for the shot. He scores.
Yes, yeah, that's it.
Matt Moore scores, but upfield we've got an injured Orangeman. And immediately Syracuse Dr. Bruce Baker is going to head on the field.
It was Lannon, I think, will check the goal. Watch, the ball was out, down, fast break situation. Watch it. Up, off the goalie's helmet, and then it went right up in the air, but watch it go across that plane right there. That's it.
That happened seconds after the injury to Dan Lannon.
Watch him plant his foot. Watch him plant, and watch what happens. Right there.
Looked like the right knee.
Yep, and he reached for it right away. Unfortunate. So Dan Lannon, a junior out of Fayetteville Manlius High School, is being looked at.
Lannon had just come on the field defensively for his first appearance of the game.
He was on Jackson.
Now watch the right knee.
Yep, it bounced right back up, twisted while he was trying to turn back on Jackson, and he's going to hobble off the field.
Doctors Bruce Baker and Irv Rayfield.
They're right on top of it.
Tim Neal, the trainer, in the dark blue sweater. Matt Palin would know something about knee injuries.
Yeah. Well, his wasn't quite as dramatic, but he heard it, and it was kind of a progressive thing.
Lannon is out of Fayetteville Manlius. And, you know, I'm sure the doctors who we just saw will take a look at this replay because it can be very revealing as to, you know, the extent of the injury. You hope it's not a tear. Could be nothing more than a severe sprain, which is severe enough.
Right.
But the video replay of an injury like that really does help them in ascertaining the cause of these injuries. You know, whether it was a shoe that got caught on the turf, somebody stepping on a foot. So kind of a bittersweet goal for Syracuse. They lead at 9-3, 9 minutes to go here in the first half.
Mike Gannon, is that 33? Or is it 23? Probably McMahon. Yep, it's McMahon for the
John
face-off.
Sheehan on the wing, 32, coming into the fray. Where's the ball?
Right where it was.
Sheehan stepped on it, didn't realize it. Paulgate gets it free for Gary. I wish I had a vacuum cleaner that worked as well as theirs.
That's right.
Here's Burns faking. There's one of the Gates cranking, feeding in close.
They got some problems defensively when they can move that freely on the crease. I don't know. They're playing a zone, but Egan is able to sneak from behind and get a beautiful pass.
Egan's 16th goal of the year.
Steps up, challenges. Look at him. See, they both come out to challenge him, but everybody left Egan alone. He just snuck from behind.
Kirk Pratt is standing saying, why didn't you pass it to me? I haven't scored yet this year.
I need one.
26.
And you see how open he was. So they've a couple of defensive problems there for Brown.
Paul Gate, by the way, has gone over the 200-point mark in this game, as Syracuse now leads it 10-3.
Faceoffs are getting in the dominating range now, 11-4.
10-3 is Syracuse's lead. Ball is picked up by John Sheehan. The Brown Bears, 11-4 coming in. Towers trying to do it all by himself right here. .8:10 to play in the first half. Sam Jackson. Back he goes now to Toohey. Rich Toohey is Paul Gate with him. This year the rules changes made the midfielders more two-way players.
No, they didn't get as many chances to run on and off the field and get a break.
People thought early on maybe that would slow the Gates down. Instead, it kept them on the field even more.
Well, they play good defense, too.
A little bit of a delay here by Brown. They're down 10-3, trying to buy some time. Jackson backing it off, and he'll go now to Tui. Tui will shoot, and Palem got a piece of it. Towers for the ricochet.
Good patient
against
offense.
Holbrook. Nobody picked him up, gave him the left hand. And he bounced it over Palem.
Very patient offense, and Matt Palem has to stay and work very hard. When there's no shot, he has to keep moving and keep following the ball.
Soft shot on that quick pass.
Good hustle by Monroe.
Brown still has it with 7:02 to go in the first half. Also coming up at halftime, we'll talk with Dick Young of the Upstate New York chapter of the Lacrosse Foundation about lacrosse opportunities coming up this summer, and you might be interested for some young folks you know, perhaps your own children or some neighbors. Great game to get started in if you have some children who haven't yet. Opportunities, we should point out, for both boys and girls. David Patay. Now Holbrook. Handling the ball quite a bit in this game, but that time Lowe knocked it free. Towers picked it up, overran it. Gary Gates going to get there, and it'll stay in his stick. Gary gives it up to Brooke Chase on the bounce to Burns.
They got to settle it.
Back to Brooke, to Gary. He ducks under, he shoots.
Oh,
Off the pipe, rebound. Maricek is not in.
Huh.
Back from Sam Jackson. Bonacci will try to impede his progress. Low. There is a step-in shot by Tui.
Tui figured he had a ability to get 2 or 3 steps, and Syracuse is going to call a timeout.
Syracuse, timeout.
So we have a timeout with 5:58 to go here in the first half. And the Orangemen in front of Brown by a score of 10-3. Dan Lannon with the protective brace on his knee heading toward the locker room.
Mobilized it. Here's what transpired as Gary Gate, a nice fake, and then the shot, and it bounced right back out, and the goalie got it. And Ayers is going to see it. When you see it on the replay, watch what he did. Ball comes out, rebound, got his stick up, hit the pipe. He got his stick on it, and then able to come up with the ball.
Well, once again, we're just about 6 minutes away from the end of the half, and we'll have a feature that will look back on some of the great plays of this 1990 season. Jeff Mercer of our Super Sports production team
does a great job.
Labored many hours to put this one together. I guess it's as many decisions as to what you can't put in as to what you will put in to the highlight package.
Some teams have a pretty simple highlight tape, I suppose. There's a man who is responsible for this success along with his coaching staff. Roy 3, John Desko, Kevin Donahue.
Andrew Towers now for Brown. McCabe knocked the ball free. This is a great matchup. McCabe and Towers. And there's McCabe doing what he does best. He lets you get a step on him, and then he comes from behind. Oh, that must be frustrating. Dennis Simmons bounces off the low. The ball comes free. Simmons sticks his head in the pile. Low looking for McMahon or Monroe. It's McMahon who gets it. Stratton is back.
Ball has been on the ground a lot. And once again, Brown's going to take this patient offense, pop out from the crease, and then wheel around, see who picks up, see if you can get a step. If you can't,
Jim Strube got the pipe.
Strube with Bonacci on him.
Bonacci's going to come off now as the big stick of David Patane will come on.
There's those, got to look at those orange pipes, the 36 square foot area that Matt Palem and his counterpart from Brown have to defend.
Strube, he was looking for that shot. Patane knocked it free. Big Bill Tully is in, 45. 6'4" and 240. Palin has taken one sojourn out of the nets and taken a shot. Now here comes Tully.
He goes down to get into the offense.
Egan behind.
He was open.
Bonacci, what will he do? Began his career at the Naval Academy. Dan Cahey. Cahey's really come into his own in this season. His senior year. Egan will give it to Maricek. Bonacci now heading down toward the 4-minute mark in a 10-3 Syracuse lead. Quick stick to the goal to Maricek.
Nice job by Vacris, 39.
Maricek feeding Bonacci. You needed a laser to make that pass.
Well, absolutely right. That's the real beauty of his zone defense is it shuts down those passing lanes, and it's nice to see here on slow motion exactly what happened. He goes right over the cage, and you're going to see Bonacci was in front of Tiffany and able to get it, release it, and put it by Ayers.
Now watch how little room he has to work with on this pass.
Right over the cage, and look how little room he has. Actually, Tiffany had a stick on it, but it was just Bonacci is very strong, and he muscled that one by for goal 11.
Here's Tom Gilmartin taking the face-off. Towers knocks it free. They both tumble to the turf, and Kramer steps in.
Stratton doing a nice job of playing defense.
Well, you had a look at a trip by Towers right dead on to the camera with the official just inches away.
Yep, there's Stratton holding his defensive guy back. There's Tower on a trip, push, slash. And they got him for 2.
Brown, 1 minute slashing charge against Towers.
Now Syracuse with their second man up opportunity.
The only one penalty?
Orange leading it 11-3, 3.5 minutes to go.
Syracuse 1 of 2 on man up so far. I mean, this is the second. They've got 1 of 1. Oh, right in the
Ayers
stick.
with a save.
Nice save.
Up ahead to Lars Tiffany. Monroe.
They're released. They're even.
On comes Dwyer and McMahon. Tiffany was open, heading toward the cage. They couldn't find him. Darren Lowe. They're going to give him room to shoot.
Now they're trying to straighten out who's got what player on this, as Brown has had pretty good success on that fast break.
Here's Dwyer. Harry Gate playing good defense there. Now Tui with Paul Gate. Gary comes over to play him now. Some switching on D. Patain did his job. Nice spin and a great save by Palin. But was it in?
Man down. No. Whistle blew. Slash.
Good move by Tui.
Tui moves. They slide out. That's a save by Palin.
Kelly's ball out of Syracuse, 1 minute slashing charge at number 45, Bill Tully.
But I think the whistle has blown.
Slashing, the call is on Syracuse.
So down for a minute. Now Syracuse plays the zone.
Brown will retain with 2:07 to go, and the crowd not happy. Did they think that was a pass?
I think they did think it was a pass.
Man up opportunity by Brown. Their second of the game. Darren Lowe, good feeder. He gets it up to McMahon, and Palem plays it.
We'll take the time here.
And Matt will handle it. Draws a double team. Gets it upfield to David Patain. David a junior. Pat McCabe now to Holbrook. Holbrook back cross field to a guy named Gate. Burns is sneaking in on the off wing, number 14.
They're even yet, yeah.
Now Paul Gate's coming on. Here he is. Pops out to Gary. He fakes. Finds Burns. Syracuse will have another opportunity with 54 seconds to go.
Shot 25 for Syracuse. Brown right behind him. Actually ahead of him. 28 shots.
Matt Palem with another record.
You know, I started off the season by saying he's underrated, and I still contend. We'll see what happens at the end of this season, but definitely an underrated goalie.
Dumps it into a crowd. He threw that in a crowd. Steve Ayers to the sideline to Tiffany. Co-captain this year. Second year he's had that honor. Now Dwyer, we're down to 25 seconds. Making his move against Patain. Patain let him go to the outside, and the shot beats Matt Palem. Matt consoled in there by one of his defensemen. I think it was McCabe.
And there's the move. He just got the stick and then went down. Stick side. Nice low shot.
Now a timeout taken by Brown with 18 seconds to go here in the first half. They're down 11-4.
Nice job.
I think Patain thought he might get some defensive help coming up.
Well, there was no, well, the slide comes a little bit late. You see the stick was already shooting in the act of shooting. So, and then I think Patain wasn't pleased with Dwyer, said something to him after the goal. At any rate, it's a 7-goal lead.
Now tell me about the strategy of this timeout. You don't have possession. 18 seconds to go in the half. Are you setting up something should you win the face?
That's a possibility. We've seen him do that before. You may see a complete, whoever gets Brown may just set right up in front of their goal. Syracuse has had a couple of set plays off of face-off. The key, of course, is coming up with the ball.
How about the open of this game off the face?
Yeah.
29 seconds. We had a pair of goals by Paul and Gary Gate.
It's McMahon and Pratt again on the face. On the wings. A couple of big sticks for Brown.
And Brown does win it. Let's see what they have cooked up here. As McMahon races it all the way against Pratt. Pratt does the job. They may not get a time for a shot if they keep it in play. Marinelli does in fact do that. But time has run out as Pat McCabe bowls over Paul Gate. At the end of a very, very impressive first half. Syracuse leads Brown 11-4. Stick with us as we'll be back with the Chorus halftime highlights and our musical look at the 1990 season.
Before STX, lacrosse historically looked like this. Because of STX, lacrosse now looks like this. When it's your turn to make lacrosse history, do it with the original and best equipment in the game, STX.
The best is a term that is very overused in sports today. However, Syracuse is fortunate. We have the very best in athletic trainers in Don Lowe and the very best in rehabilitation facilities at Onondaga Sports Medicine. Don's selection as National Trainer of the Year is proof of his dedication to excellence.
Onondaga Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation Center, Syracuse's answer to sports injuries.
Specializing in commercial communication since 1959, Leo Mack two-way radio service offers sales, leasing, rentals, and customer consultation on a variety of two-way radio equipment. Leo Mack offers 800 megahertz voice private trunking, Uniden and AudioVox cellular telephones, Motorola, Johnson and Iratron, UHF, VHF, and Marine radios. Leo Mack has 24-hour service and FCC certified technicians providing professional installations and repairs. Leo Mack, 337 Regal Street, Syracuse. Novel T-shirts, professionally silk screens, uniforms, jackets, caps, sweats, and of course T-shirts. Novel can provide silk screening in a number of styles, colors, and sizes. And the process is done right on the premises, which gives Novel the ability to produce over 1,000 pieces daily and guarantees you an on-time delivery date. Novel's new computer graphics system makes quality designs possible fast and inexpensively. Novel T-shirts located at 1612 State Fair Boulevard, or look for them in the yellow pages. Did you know that Budget Rent-A-Car, the world's third largest car rental company, does more than just rent cars? Yes, Budget offers valet parking at nearly half the cost of airport parking. With free shuttle to the airport and baggage handling, you can't go wrong. And while you're away, get an oil change and car wash. What's more, if you're in the market for a good used car, Budget has a large selection of quality, low-priced domestic and foreign cars. Something for everyone. So visit Budget Rent-A-Car for valet service and used car sales. At Budget, we live up to our name. Welcome back to the Carrier Dome and this NCAA Lacrosse Division I quarterfinal game featuring Brown and Syracuse. The sport of lacrosse is continuing to grow in popularity. It's spreading from its base here in the Northeast and along the Atlantic coast, moving westward and southward and out to the Midwest. The Lacrosse Foundation is aiding in the growth of the sport, and particularly in upstate New York, it's the upstate New York chapter of the Lacrosse Foundation that's headed by Dick Young. We asked Dick to tell us specifically what his organization is doing to promote the sport locally.
Well, Dave, first of all, our program is to support lacrosse at all levels, and we do that by offering clinics early on in the year in the January time frame. During the summertime, we offer camp scholarships for junior high school and high school lacrosse players, both girls and boys lacrosse. And that'll be coming up now, and there are plenty of local camps that these folks can apply for. And then later on, we are going to be sponsoring our Hall of Fame induction ceremony here in Syracuse. And pleasantly, we've got Roy Simmons Jr., who will be inducted this year into the Hall of Fame. It's a first for our organization. Gordy Ostrom will also be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And additionally, we would like to point out that we direct and help and assist folks like Tom Acey and his summer camp in the Syracuse City School District. We also direct and help folks like Pete Fiorini in Baldwinsville with his youth program, and Steve Miller with his youth program out in Manlius.
Now, Dick, specifically now, if somebody is interested in applying for a scholarship to one of the summer camp programs, how do they go about it?
Well, they have to write to us, Dave, at the Upstate New York chapter, 6430 Therese Terrace in Jamesville, New York, 13078. And all they have to do is ask for a camp scholarship application. We will send it back to them. They can fill it out, and we'll act upon that.
You've heard and read a lot by now about the physical dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. I'm sure you've also heard and read lots of stories about the emotional damage that drugs and alcohol can cause. I don't think you can hear those stories too many times. Don't ever forget, you can lose your dreams, you can lose your talent, you can lose your life. The price of a high is too high.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, some slow-motion replay footage of vintage lacrosse is probably priceless, especially the way it's been played around here the past couple of years. And Syracuse fans have been thrilled by great plays in a variety of sports. In football, Ciano's catch to beat Nebraska, Owen's two-point conversion against West Virginia, the opening play touchdown catch of Rob Moore against Penn State. There was the Pearls half-court shot in basketball and Sherman's football hike through his legs. When it comes to great moments in video and sports, lacrosse does not have to take a back seat. Jeff Mercer of our Super Sports production team has assembled some of the finest moments in lacrosse during this past season. We want you to sit back now and enjoy the 1990 season in retrospective.
My heart's on fire. You come to me wild and wild. You come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone. Anyone I ever met. Ooh, I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Oh, tears apart. No, no, no. Baby, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I start losing control. You're walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, never go.
Dear Jenny, you're so neat. I don't usually pour my heart out like this. I'm mesmerized. Your effervescent charm. My passion for you will never be quenched. I will always thirst for your companionship.
Oh, Jenny, you must feel so special. I feel like a Pepsi.
How about Silo Low? Guaranteed. Silo, everything that turns you on.
I like cruising downtown in my limousine. Big skyscrapers and the nightlife scene. The rush hour traffic would get around here. High fashion ladies and cold Coors beer.
If you like your beer fresh, pure, and natural, head for the Rockies and the original taste of Coors.
And tap an ice cold Coors with a friend of yours.
Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
Since 1870, Syracuse University has offered those seeking a higher education the opportunity to share in its rich tradition of academic excellence and diversity. Over 300 different programs are offered by the university's 14 schools and colleges. Many of the programs, including those of the Newhouse School of Public Communications and the Maxwell School of Citizenship, enjoy international reputations. Syracuse University, the education of a lifetime.
Welcome back to the Carrier Dome. At the half, Syracuse leading Brown in this NCAA Division I quarterfinal round game by a score of 11-4. Dave Cohn along with Dale Drypulcher. We hope you enjoyed that halftime piece put together by Jeff Mercer. We told you it was well worth waiting for, and who knows, you may yet see some more goal scoring in the second half that could be added on to that.
Could be, very possible. I wouldn't bet against it.
Well, Syracuse came out with an explosive start to this game, probably as explosive as we've ever seen them. Gary and Paul Gate taking the game into their hands literally right off the opening faceoff. Let's go to the Coors halftime highlights now, and we'll show you what we mean. This is just seconds into the game off the opening face.
And they were contested every faceoff. There was, you'll see it right here, hitting and hacking and smashing and aluminum, and it's very important. They knew, both teams knew, that it's important to get that faceoff. And you watch Gate, he just comes down the left side and passes to his brother who goes behind the back, and that was it early.
16 seconds in, and then 13 seconds after that, Kirk Pratt hustling on the faceoff against Jay McMahon.
Once again, you can see the hustle and the hitting and the intensity on the faceoffs, and Gary scoops it up, comes down right-handed, and they slide over, and boy, you give him that much room. Ayers was in trouble, and he was. Goal number 2, 29 seconds.
So Syracuse had the quick 2-0 lead. Brown University came back as they narrowed the lead to 2-1 at one point.
Nice job by Dwyer from Brown. He got the ball up, scooped it, head down looking for some help. Goes cross cage to Darren Lowe, and Lowe up in the air. Nice job by Lowe.
That made it 7-3. That was the first goal of the second quarter. But after that, it was just about all Syracuse as they scored the next 4 goals before Brown got one near the end of the first half. Here's Matt Palin in the nets today.
Nice job. McMahon took the shot, rode it up over, and here are the halftime stats. One of the interesting stats, 29-25 lead in the shot department by Brown. Very unusual. Saves, 13-8. Face-offs, obviously a real factor because, as we said going in, it's going to be very important. Syracuse has been very productive off the face-off. Ground balls favors SU. A lot of lacrosse left.
Well, you can see Brown has taken a lot of shots, but if you combine the saves and the goals, a lot of those shots have been off net.
Absolutely, and one of the things I think that Syracuse is feeling that zone defense slowed things down a little bit, and they're going to get the running game going.
Brown and Orange will continue from the Carrier Dome right after this.
There's a place where jeweled horses still dance in the sun. Children dream, and the magic of a carousel is the spirit of a festival. The I Love New York Summer Festival in Binghamton and Broome County. Come for the fun, the color, the food, and the fabulous adventure. The I Love New York Summer Festival. Call 1-800-836-6740 and discover the child in us all.
You've heard and read a lot by now about the physical dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. I'm sure you've also heard and read lots of stories about the emotional damage that drugs and alcohol can cause. I don't think you can hear those stories too many times. Don't ever forget, you can lose your dreams, you can lose your talent, you can lose your life. The price of a high is too high.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Today's game is brought to you by Coors, brewery fresh, pure and natural. Coors, it's a true American original. By Pepsi, a taste generations ahead. By Silo, everything that turns you on. And by Drumlins, for golf, tennis, swimming, banquets, and all your travel needs, it's Drumlins. Today's game is also brought to you by Onondaga Sports Medicine. We don't just get you back on your feet, we get you back in the game. By Guinness Gold and the Guinness Import Company. Now there's a Guinness for everyone. By Arby's. Tired of burgers? Join the Arby's revolution and break your burger habit today. By Usherwood Business Systems. In a world full of copies, it's the people who make the difference. By the Heart of New York Chevy dealers. We've got the value, we've got the best. And by Fairmount Carpet and Linoleum. You walk on our reputation. This is the crowd in the Carrier Dome watching lacrosse for the final time in the 1990 season. Many of them are thinking in terms of the Final Four down in New Jersey. This, by the way, is the final game of the year for us from Super Sports. We began last September with football, basketball, women's basketball, a variety of sports, culminating with lacrosse in this NCAA quarterfinal round game. Dom Starsha has had his team play a zone defense that has slowed down Syracuse on occasion, but the transition game has helped the Orange men to an 11-4 lead as we get set now for the start of the second half.
And as we said, those face-off goals and that fast break, they're not even able to really, with that kind of speed. Syracuse just popped 2 in 29 seconds. That kind of set the tempo.
If you joined us along the way, the Orangemen suffered an injury. Dan Landon went down with an injury to his right knee. He is definitely through for this game, and we'll have to hope for his sake that it is nothing more than a sprain. And obviously, there's always a possibility it could be worse than that. Roy Simmons and John Desko, Dom Starsha. The crowd here in the Dome getting set for their final half of lacrosse collegiately in the 1990 season. Early in June, actually mid-June, Syracuse will host the Lacrosse USA Invitational Tournament featuring the defending champs, Team USA, the Iroquois Nationals, the Syracuse All-Stars, the Bryan Lacrosse Club of Boston, the Maryland Lacrosse Club, and the New York Athletic Club. So that'll be some top-notch lacrosse. We'll have many of those games for you as well this summer. Off the opening face, no possession.
They had to call a push. Yep, against Syracuse. Pratt
hustling off to the bench. Rodney Dumpson is coming on, and he has a step on the defender. Shot from way outside. Egan. Now Paul Gate. Behind his back, way out. Dumpson had to check his stick to make sure he had it.
I think they thought
that Gary gets a step on Tiffany. Here he comes.
Yes.
How did that ball get in there?
Whoa. I was just going to say, when Paul came out from the other side, they thought he was going to do it then.
Thank goodness for the replay, because I have no idea how that one ended up in the net.
Tiffany, number 5, and then Gary Gates sees.
Fourth goal, number 22.
There it is. Yes, it hits, and that was clean as could be.
With 14:24 remaining.
Subway gate.
Unassisted goal, number 22, Gary Gates.
I see how the stick comes around, but I can't see how you can reach that far and
have
turn
enough
it in.
Power to do it. I think I told you before the game I saw him practicing where he could throw the ball from behind and make it hop back into the goal. Possession, Brown.
Andrew Towers picks it up. Syracuse is leading 12-4. Well, those who came hoping to see that, I'm sure will not be disappointed. Here's Towers trying to go low, and Palem plays that one. McCabe comes out, called Palem off of that play. Upfield it goes now to Patain. Persing streaking in the middle. Persing gets the pass. Persing goes behind Burns. Egan will send behind. Maricek has been relatively quiet. Feeds it to Burns. That hits the back. Burns gets it back. Burns feeds it over the head of Marichek. Out to midfield. Cahey just stepped out and took it.
Came right in out of the substitution area, and the ball went right in his stick.
Now Cahey and Bonacci coming into the play. Egan, Marichek. Gary Gate is calling for it. 22. Burns is open in front for a moment. Now here's Gary. In comes Marichek. Back to Bonacci. Gary Gate scoops it up. Bonacci in the middle, couldn't handle it. The outlet is too far for McMahon. And here's Jim Egan. Somebody has lost the stick.
Burns tried to take it.
Ricky Kramer in midfield. Syracuse dominating the action here. Bonacci, nice change of direction. Draws the double team from Tiffany. That's deflected and taken away by Brown.
That's the way they do things. Vacris got a stick up.
Moving with it now is Emil Zizza, local player. And here again is McMahon against Cahey. That's a low shot. And McCabe was helping out in the cage.
We're going to get a... There's the ball. Monroe has it.
Neil Monroe working it in. Monroe coming in point blank, and he scores.
Nice play by Monroe. They ran a little out of bounds, inbounds play, and he got a jump. And we'll see it from the end zone. There's the move. That's McCabe, and he can't get anything on it. He beat him, and then it's one-on-one with Matt Palem.
Goal line number 1, Neil Monroe. Brown goal line.
McCabe was setting a double team on Towers.
12, round 5.
Procedure.
A procedure on the face.
Got to be on Brown. It is. That was Towers.
Cahey gets crunched from behind. Bonacci can't handle the rebound. Bonacci gets it back for the moment. And Syracuse unable to cash in.
Yeah, Burns got it again. Now Marichek's not going to be able to run that one down. Well, this is... I was going to say it's getting ugly. I guess it's exciting, but boy, the ball's down. A lot of sticks and pushing and shoving.
Jamie Archer in on this play, number 11.
Yeah, he's in. Bonacci's there. There's Tiffany. Williamson. And he airs, turns in a circle. They had him turned around. He knocks it back out. Can't control it. And then another scoop shot.
Sam Jackson mishandling at midfield. Stallford comes out of there. Sean Stallford with it, number 10. Simmons is going to run right at him.
I'm telling you.
Simmons throwing his body around liberally. Persing throws it upfield and forces Ayers to come way out.
This will be interesting.
Now it's Jackson, hoping his team can regroup. Jackson with the spinner against Simmons.
I tell you what, there's going to be a lot of guys Syracuse are going to get some playoff playing time.
This is Rick Toohey. Outside to Stallford with a nice change of direction. Didn't get a hard shot on, however. And Matt Palem will send it out. Upfield to Persing. Does a good job to play it. McCabe is directing him like a traffic cop. And the save by Ayers. McCabe is in there looking for the offensive rebound. I think Pat was hoping he'd get a pass.
Crease violation. Now they got to clear it. That'll be Sam Jackson, 16 with the ball. It'll be Jamie Archer guarding him.
Up they go to Dwyer. Archer's going to take a run at him. Comes up empty-handed. Matt Moore is on Dwyer now. He discouraged him from shooting. This is Monroe. Monroe is marked by Winship.
Save.
Matt Palin.
Oh, boy, they're really doing some hitting. Nice move.
Great move by Lowe. He looked like he lost his stick, but he had it. And this is McCabe with it now. Syracuse getting some new people in the game. Sean McGowan is on.
Egan's going to settle it down and take it behind.
Now it's Maricek. Maricek bouncing in the score.
Trudell on Maricek, and after Egan went behind, settled it down, he passed it to the other attack man, and Maricek with the super stick. Not able to get stick on stick with him. Trudell lets him take that right-handed shot. Watch Maricek bring that stick around. Now Trudell sees the stick, but he's going to push him. Not able to get the stick on him, and that gives goal number 13 to Syracuse.
So Tom Maricek comes up with his third goal of the game.
McMahon behind.
McCabe got a stick on that pass and enabled Gary Gate to come up with it, and he headmans Person. Rob Person going by Dwyer. Up ahead now to Maricek. What will he do? The clever stick handler gets it to Burns. And Rick Burns scores his second goal of the game. 14-5 Syracuse.
This is a long shot. You're going to see the follow through, and then the net. 32 shots, 14 goals. Maricek should get the assist. Puts it by Ayers, defenseman there, ducking out of the way.
About a 12-yard shot.
Yeah.
14-5. McMahon checked away from him beautifully by Paul Gate. Gary is to his left, Egan to his right. Paul changing direction, finds Gary.
Dumpson's been fairly quiet.
Greg Burns looking to give it back. Now Greg, the one-time high school quarterback, works from behind. He still has it, down to a knee, gives it up to Egan. The official goes down, set a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
Egan against Tiffany. Rodney Dumpson. Off to Gallup. He didn't care for that. Andy Furman said something to him, and Dumpson responded. We have a timeout taken by Brown before we get any further jawing back and forth.
We'll see what happens. He just gives a shrug. There's the shot. Out. And then Furman knocked him down. I think he felt it was after that he had taken the shot, and he just said, hey, why'd you knock me down? That's a shrugging match. Nice picture.
North Carolina 18, Harvard 3, Yale beat Princeton 17-8.
North Carolina and Yale winners in their quarterfinal round games.
No score yet in the Loyola Rutgers game.
You know, just I think it might be interesting. Syracuse might end up playing Yale in the final if they.
Right now, it looks like a Syracuse-North Carolina rematch.
Yeah.
And nothing in the pro basketball draft.
7:35 to go here in the third quarter with Syracuse leading 14-5. Rodney Dumpson will stay on. Egan and Tiffany again. Ball, and now Gary Gate. The cutter was Burns. Here's Gary. And Paul.
Mike Gannon on him, that's got to be disheartening as he takes it back, passes off to Paul. Gannon slides over, but Gate rips it. 7:17 left, 15-5.
Well, Paul Gate gets his second goal of the game. Sure seems like more, doesn't it? Two goals and 2 assists.
2 assists.
15-5. McMahon for Brown. Syracuse showing no effects of the layoff.
Other than that they are well rested, I guess.
However, they may have to make a personnel decision regarding Dan Lannon. Rosters have been reduced, so I wonder what you do in this situation. Do you call up somebody and say, come on back?
I guess they're probably still practicing, I would assume, especially some of the younger guys.
That shot taken by Monroe.
That was shot 35. That was a good example, Dave. That's a shot, but it really did not challenge Matt Palin. So they have taken a lot of shots, but not all of them have been really on the mark.
David Patain got a stick on that pass. Good job there by Syracuse. McCabe is on Lowe. Lowe is very quick, isn't he?
Very.
That shot wide. Syracuse is going to get it.
Towers and McCabe going after it, and McCabe won the race to the line.
Lots 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Then they just wear you down after a while. Not failure to clear there.
10-second call. I think we've seen Holbrook handling the ball more in this game than in any other time this season.
Well, it's the kind of thing where you're going to get people. It's good to have the guys be able to do that. Sometimes in games they'll take stuff away from you.
Sam Jackson separated from the ball. Nice job by Stratton to get it to Benazzi. That brings the crowd to its feet, roaring. Ricky Kramer in close. Burns back up top. Bolin off the stick of Marichek.
Bolin looking for Marichek on the crease.
From behind, an attempt unsuccessful on Monroe. Neil Monroe against Pat McCabe. Darren Lowe now. 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter, and Syracuse leading at 15-5. Relatively low-scoring third quarter. Wire shot. Andrew Towers pushed out of shooting position, and in the net was McCabe. Matt McCabe made the save.
What? Yeah, he turned to the official and said, he can't do that. What are you doing? Right, there's Towers. That's Holbrook on him. Holbrook's done a great job on him, and he pushes him out, and then he comes back, takes a left-handed shot. It goes by Palem, but the rebound's off himself and caught by McCabe, and just got it. There it was right there. And then he does it again.
Well, if I didn't get called the first time,
apparently they're not calling it this game.
$2 for $1, right?
Apparently they're not calling it this game. I think he thought that Matt Palem was in and out, but he just got back in there.
Well, that's something you don't see every game, every day. Working our way down to the 4-minute mark here in the third quarter. Egan and Tiffany. There's a pick set by Maricek. Bonacci feeds into a crowd. That was intended for Maricek. Tom says Brown got it last, but he's not going to win his argument.
There's Bonacci coming off. Yeah, it's Syracuse ball. They got that one back.
There's Dan Lannon, injured in the first half. Leg in an immobilizer right now. If you've ever gone through that kind of injury, boy, when you're sitting there, you're wondering, is it a sprain? Is it a tear? Is it a ligament, a cartilage? Will I be the same?
Nice job by Vakras.
Oh, Paul Gate.
Syracuse
kicked it out. One of the few mistakes that he has made.
Craig Vakras, nice job, 39. You know, you look down this Brown roster, they're a young team. Lots of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, not a lot of seniors.
Good year for the Ivy League in lacrosse.
Absolutely.
Vakras knocked out of his stick by Moore. Matt Moore whipping it upfield, intercepted by Carter Trudell.
Everybody onside. Trudell gets rid of it.
3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Syracuse 15, Brown 5. Dwyer going to the left hand. Big hit on Stratton made by Monroe. Holbrook keeps it in. For the moment he did. Brown gets it back with 2:51 to go. Officials really moving this game right along. Dwyer looking to get it to McMahon. Instead he'll move against Moore. Palem did a good job on
Yes. Watching and making sure he had Dwyer the whole way. I realize Palem has not, I don't believe, even been an honorable mention All-American, and he was MVP in the '88 National Championship game.
Let's see if Lowe tries to dodge by McCabe. Oh, there's a takeaway by McCabe. Makes it look so easy, doesn't it? Way up ahead, over the head of Persing, intercepted by Tiffany. Lars leaves it for Dwyer. He eludes a check at midfield from Maricek. Gets it to McMahon. He's got shooting room. And he scores.
Number 2. Shot, left-handed shot, crank, off right, I think off the inside foot.
For Brown.
It's McMahon.
Scored by
left hand.
23.
See those defensemen, get those heads down.
Goal by 23, Jay McMahon. There's 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the third
Second
period.
goal.
15, round 6.
Gary Gate coming all the way in and shooting. Rebound by Egan.
Oh!
Ayers was hit by a Marachek. Syracuse keeps it with Pratt. Egan lost his stick. Ayers lost the ball. Pratt is in the vicinity. In the game is Tom Peters. Syracuse gets it back. They work it in close. Over the head of Gary Gate. Furman beaten to the ball by Gary. Here he comes. And the shot is wide by Jim Egan.
Well, you wonder why that guy's the best lacrosse player perhaps that ever was. He just went after that ball, came up with it between 2 guys, looked for Egan. Those are the things you don't see in the stats.
That's my ball. I want that ball. Oh, there was that quick release by Dumpson. Egan will give it to Gary. Paul, Rodney Dumpson. Zone defense, not a man-up situation, although it might look like it. Clock on the field as we're under a minute to go in this third quarter. Gary has already scored once while he was airborne. It was Subway Gate, it was the low one. Egan works for the shot. Jim Egan, great sense of humor, very understated. Second goal.
Zizza on Egan, I believe. That's Sheehan there. Zizza's going to slide over.
Now it's 16
Nope.
seconds on the goal by
There it is.
9.
It was Sheehan.
Jim Egan gets the goal, number 9. And Syracuse 16.
Just a quick release. He got Sheehan down and then not able to cover the stick, and he goes low and one hops it by Ayers.
Right through the legs.
Yep.
Gary Gate.
That's amazing.
To Paul Gate. In the middle. Brooke Chase back to Gary.
Pratt's in playing a little offense.
They fed the crease. Intended for Egan, out of bounds.
.24 seconds, third quarter.
Tiffany, a little push ahead to Jackson. Does a good job of getting by Persing. Moving now on Patayan. Finding Marinelli.
Save.
They do everything right, and then it's wiped out by Matt Palin. 1 second to go in the quarter. And so now there are only 15 minutes separating Syracuse from a return trip to the Final Four of college lacrosse. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this.
Just how big is Arby's giant roast beef sandwich? Very big. See how nicely it fits in the Grand Canyon. See how it dwarfs the mighty Empire State Building. See how our sesame seed bun piled high with lean, tender, slow-roasted Arby's roast beef makes a burger look like a mere speck in the universe. Arby's giant roast beef sandwich in monumental tribute to the revolution against burgers. Taste the Arby's difference.
Brine, #1 in lacrosse. Rugged equipment, made for your game. The best in glove design pads and sticks for players like you. Ask for Brine, choice of champions.
When you look into your heart, just let those feelings flow to warm and friendly faces and places we all know. taking pride in all we are. Right here in Syracuse, we're the heart of New York.
In an age of artificial turf and superdomes, there's still a place where the game is pure and rugged, and the beer has to be smooth and refreshing. Introducing Guinness Gold. The golden lager beer that's as uncompromising as the people who drink it. Guinness Gold. Now there's a Guinness for everyone.
We're back with you now for the fourth quarter in the Carrier Dome. Dave Cohn along with Dale Drypulcher. Syracuse has a 10-goal lead. We want to go back late in the third quarter and show you Gary Gait in pursuit of the ball.
This is the hustle that I talked about, and almost unbelievable the way he stays after things. And watch where this ball goes, and there's somebody closing in from the left, and he just, watch.
Watch the stick work.
Boom. He's got it. He turns it in. He cradles it. He brings it up, and now the out of bounds coming up. He just turns back and he just runs by people, protects the ball. Look, he takes a shot on the arm. It doesn't even bother him. Great look.
When he gets the ball, it's more secure than a savings and loan, that's for sure.
Nice job in the truck, guys.
Egan switching hands. Fourth quarter action. 10-goal Syracuse lead. Gary Gait to the left hand, even with a crease. Hook shot by Burns. A bouncer. And Brown can't handle it. That was Phil Maletta. Dumpson took away the ball and the stick. What a job against Emio Zizza. Pat McCabe in the middle of Paul Gait. He's got 20 yards of open field. And could not cash in. Egan has his hands on the hip, disgusted. Brown still enjoying the shot advantage, but we've pointed out many of those shots have been wild ones.
21 saves for Matt Palem. And face-offs, 16-9, a key so far in this game. 3 quarters over, I guess. Say a key for the game. One of the keys, I think, against beating Syracuse would be to do what Penn did, which was control the ball and the face-offs.
In close. Burns pulls it down.
Oh. Makes you glad you got a face mask.
Carter Trudell loses it. It's shoveled ahead, but look who's there to pick it up. Paul Gait. Low one. Nice save. Maricek took that shot.
Yeah, you come here and play goalie, you're going to get a couple days worth of shots on you, and most of them are going to be of that variety, the hard, right-on shots.
Remember what Matt Palem told us earlier in the year? As you advance in the sport of lacrosse from the Pee-wees to high school, you actually wear less and less equipment as a goalie.
Right, and the shots get harder and harder.
Nice change of direction, a little bit high. Gary a little bit frustrated that time.
You know, you look at a guy like Rodney Dumpson, who doesn't have great stats on the year in terms of goals and stuff, just does a great job, and there's so many guys like that on this team. Egan.
There's Paul with a change of direction. He hits the deck.
You know, they raised an interesting point in the Sports Information Department about the attack man of the year. They said, you know, Maricek and Burns both might be candidates.
And if they get enough votes, they can almost cancel each other out. Dumpson, look at that move. Ayers with an equally fine save. Outletting it too far, however, and Pat McCabe plays it. Shovels it into the middle.
Just amazing. The fans appreciate that. Right there, they all kind of spontaneously broke into applause.
Because he could have made the short shovel and it was in danger of being intercepted.
That's
so he knew right where to throw it.
He's an All-American defenseman. And
Game
Eric
is
Holbrook
settled down here for the moment. Paul Gait.
while we're talking about defensemen, I want to say Eric Holbrook's done a great job also.
Valletta on the run. Paul from the front, dumps it from behind. He somehow got away. And Palin saved his shot.
Nice job.
That was a great effort by Valletta.
It was. He got down there and took the shot.
Monroe comes back. He's looking one-on-one. He has no help. 3 players are coming on. And he got it to one of them, Dwyer.
Yep.
That was interesting.
Well, they were kind of outnumbered at the time. They were making some changes, and they were outnumbered on the crease. That's Winship on Monroe, and then Monroe gets to Dwyer, and Dwyer had to move. He was coming left. Nobody saw him until he got the ball. Watch, McCabe didn't see him. There he sees him, but had everybody going the other way.
Holbrook was trying to help out in the cage, like McCabe did earlier. 16-7.
Second goal for Dwyer.
Tom Gilmartin on the loose ball. Now he has it. Andrew Boland with the ball. Could you imagine if this game had to be played outdoors today?
Whew.
With all the rain that we've had this week and all the rain today?
You don't want to say it rains a lot in central New York.
But it's been ugly. Maricek tried to get it back out to Boland, and he's going to get to the ball first. Sends it back to Ricky Kramer.
Well, the Gates will be back next year. They're going to come back and got some credits to work on. I'm sure they'll be with the lacrosse team.
Boland falls down as he was getting set to shoot. Now, can they come back and play football or soccer?
I think their eligibility is about used up.
We have 10:44 to go in this game. The winner of this one gets North Carolina. Yale is already qualified in the other semi. Score. Nice move, Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson goes high. That's Kramer on him.
Sam's a sophomore out of Ambler, Pennsylvania.
He went high. Boy, he just got that in. Nice shot. Just below the top crossbar.
Matt Palin is going to check out after that goal. Palin departs, his final appearance in the Carrier Dome.
And they want to get Lee Hine some work.
Lee Hine, who was in the cage for all 4 wins while Palin recuperated. Brown moments ago shoved Paul Gate to the turf. Now Gary feels that he was dealt with a little bit unfairly.
Illegal screen apparently. That'll be Brown losing possession. Or a push. Not
Jim
sure which
Strube on Gary Gate. Rodney Dumpson with it now. Well, with the time remaining, will Paul or Gary try a new trick up their sleeve? Here's Gary. Dumpson and Gary. Are they setting him up for something?
Just the usual. Somebody down front got a Canadian flag. He's been waving it. It's a really kind of a nice touch after this goal as
Syracuse goal.
The power as they bounce the sticks off his forearms. Paul Gate still puts it by as Carter Trudell, 41, puts some aluminum on him right there. Watch, gets him right there again. All legal, but just not enough to stop him from putting it by Ayers. 3-2.
Paul wins that transaction if it popped off the face. Egan had to go airborne and try to pull that one in. 17-8. 9.5 minutes to go, and most of the fans are staying because they don't want to miss it if it does come.
I can remember when they said, how's the lacrosse team look? And they said, we got a couple of these freshman kids from Canada. They didn't play much as freshmen, but they really look good as sophomores.
Engulfed is McMahon. Oh, somebody got that, I think, right in the face mask.
Lee Hine comes up with that. Nice outlet.
Operating room for Paul Gate. He's got about 30 yards. By Marichek.
You hear the fans? Oh, they love to see it. You can tell by the amount of running why you don't see a lot of fat lacrosse players.
That's right. Bill Tully's the biggest. He's about 240. You don't see the football players like you used to.
No.
We have a delayed call against Syracuse.
That Simmons going a little bit of a slash on Sam Jackson.
He might get a second. Darren Lowe trying to work free of McCabe. Now the penalty will be assessed. 8.5 minutes remaining.
Slash. And there's Jackson. There's one that bounced up. There's another one.
So Dennis Simmons, who saw very early action in this game, gets the penalty here.
Third opportunity.
And for the first time, they put one by Lee Hine.
Yep. 1 of 3, man up. Pass, slide, shot, goal. You know, the way we slow it down, it looks like, gee, we might have been able to have that, but believe me, when it's going that fast, it's hard to see.
17, Brown 9.
So, Tui with an extra man, 17-9.
The most goals Brown has ever allowed in a game is 25, and if Syracuse, I think, wanted to, they could probably approach that.
Now Brown's starting to take some face-offs.
Dwyer's going to get this pass from Monroe.
You know, one thing about having a 10-game schedule, maybe your guys are a little fresher, not run down at this point in the season. Syracuse only able to get that many regular season games.
Last year they had 14 in the regular season. They have won 26 in a row, 25 in a row at home.
Talking to some officials, and they said it always seems to be Syracuse and the rest of the pack.
Well, folks, you may be looking at the finest college lacrosse team of all time. In the closing minutes here of their last home game of the year.
Rodney Dumpson might be the answer to a trivia question. Who was the guy that played midfield with the Gates?
Nice job by Lee Hine. A big stick has it. That's David Patain behind his back to Gary Gate.
Hey, what an assist. Patain all of the Gates. Watch, big stick. Somebody comes out to challenge him. There it is.
Third assist of the year by David Patain. And the fifth goal of the game by Gary Gate.
There's the look again.
It's the fifth.
Just like they do it in practice. There's no doubt about that.
The assist to number
You see the power as he took a shot, so Tain will get that assist. Hold, push against Syracuse. Round ball.
Syracuse leading it 18-9. Gary Gate in his career with 5 goals has 182. Hine got a piece of that one. Gary is now 11 behind the all-time goal-scoring mark, set by another Canadian by the name of Stan Cockerton at North Carolina State in the late 70s.
You know, there's a guy right there, Towers. Done a pretty good job on him.
Lee Hine up to Bill Tully. Cross midfield to Ricky Kramer. Kramer looking left. Bounce shot saved by Ayers. Maricek for the check. He ties up Ayers at the same time. Egan after Tiffany. Syracuse playing this one like it's the opening minutes of the game. Tiffany is tripped down the sideline. Ricky Kramer is heading off.
Good hustle. As you said, they're playing like it's he hit the stick and hit the leg.
What happened is they actually hit feet, and that interrupted the gait of Ricky Kramer. And then he tripped and brought down Lars Tiffany.
1 minute tripping penalty on Syracuse.
So
These folks enjoying themselves.
We'll be down for a minute.
You know, Dale, maybe what we need here is a nice artificial sun.
Right, we got everything else.
It's been raining so long in Syracuse, I'm expecting to see Noah come by in the arc.
There's mushrooms under my car.
Andrew Towers gets his first goal of the game.
Yeah, 6'4" attack man. We said coming in he was a guy to look at for Brown, and he's been held scoreless until 5:51. Coming in, he had 57 goals and 16 assists.
Not much cause for celebration by Towers, who doesn't use his height, but he goes low on this one. And Brown hits double figures now, 18-10.
And Lowe has 1 goal and no assists. Great job by Syracuse defense individually.
Most goals Syracuse has allowed this year is 12.
Well, nice job by, whoa, there's Tui.
And it's 18-11 now with 5.5 minutes to go.
Watch Tui. He's going to get the pass from Dwyer. Just takes a one hopper, and that's one Lee Hine should have had.
5 minutes and 34 seconds.
Third goal of the game by Richard Tui, Rick Tui.
Assistant number 20.
I was just going to say, however, Holbrook and McCabe have done a great job on the 2 guns coming in, Lowe and Towers.
And Brown swarming now for those face-offs. Kirk Pratt picks this one up. He'll head off in favor of Rodney Dumpson. Let's see if Syracuse can regain some of the momentum offensively.
Well, I think it's, one of those things where you get so far ahead that perhaps you get a little bit.
Egan looks like he's going to run some time here.
Yeah.
Maricek, a couple of spins. Won't be surprised if he backs it out. But he throws it over the head of Egan and out of bounds. Now the crowd getting a little bit restless.
Yeah, well, don't forget this is the quarterfinal of the NCAA playoffs. This isn't just a regular game. These teams had to beat some people to get here. They've got some talent.
7-goal deficit with under 5 minutes to go. Possible, but not likely. Nice feed from Lowe. They're hustling for those ground balls, the Brown Bears. That was thunder.
The dome shook.
Now Monroe against Patain. Monroe is brought down. That's a flag.
What's he going to call? Hold? Yeah, give me a hold.
And Monroe is a little bit shaken up. They have sprained the ankle.
30-second penalty call out Syracuse for holding charge to number 24, David Patain.
Monroe is going to have to come out.
30 seconds.
Patain will be down for 30 seconds. Man up opportunity number 5.
Yeah, Monroe's in pain. He had that ankle screwed into the ground. About 4 minutes left in the game. There's a quick stick goal by Andrew Towers, and it's 18-12.
Towers, goal number 2. There's a feed, cross cage, and he just quick sticked it right by the defense and Lehigh.
So now it is 18-12. This equals the highest output anybody's had against Syracuse. It was the other Ivy League team, Penn, which came closer to anyone to beating Syracuse. 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go. Now a 6-goal lead, or deficit, depending on your point of view. It's going to Paul Gate. He's brought down. Now we get a rather late whistle.
Push.
We're going to get a timeout taken by Syracuse.
Syracuse, timeout.
Goes after the ball, and there's push.
Oh, you saw what happened there. Gate had his foot on top of the other player who pulled his foot out from under.
Coach Simmons is going to say, let's not let this one get out of hand. Let's get another goal here. And let's continue with the intensity. Not that they haven't been, they have been, but you got to play a little bit better defensively. And here's the Lacrosse USA Invitational.
That'll be June 15th, 16th, and 17th. Team USA, the Iroquois Nationals, the Syracuse All-Stars, lacrosse clubs in Boston, Maryland, and New York. There in the dome today, 11,523. About the average for the year, 11,000. These fans have enjoyed themselves. Under lightning and thunderous skies, under Teflon, high and dry.
If we were outside, we'd be in a lot of trouble. Right now, we'll see if Brown's in a lot of trouble. There's a little hidden ball trick.
Let's see.
No.
Who's got it? Who's got it? Ball came all the way through. Gary had it. He didn't fool anybody. Egan behind. Now Maricek. The clock is Syracuse's only enemy at this point as Burns loses it. Backwards knocks it up ahead. Towers wants it. Lowe has it. Lowe with a nifty job of getting away. He gets it to Towers. Goes to the left hand. Steps in. Loses the ball. Brown to Marinelli. Marinelli and Stratton. Marinelli comes up with it. Lee Hines stands calmly in the cage. 2:54 to go and a 6-goal lead. Brown has scored the last 3. Here's a shot by Dwyer, and it comes into the stick of Hine. And now the Orange break up field. Holgate. Egan. Maricek. And a timeout taken down by Brown. With 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining.
18, Brown 12.
Don't forget, at the end of the game, we'll be selecting our Pepsi player of the game.
There's the huddle. I don't know what he's going to say. Let's keep hustling, guys. We're going to make this one respectable. At 18-12 right now. You see the replay. Pass back. Maricek takes a shot on the head. Hard shot.
Syracuse leading at 18-12. We have 2 minutes and 33 seconds remaining. It's our final Super Sports cable cast of the year, encompassing lacrosse, basketball, football, women's basketball, soccer, track and field, tennis. And we'd love to hear from you. Drop us a line, letter, postcard, give us a call at Cook Cablevision, 500 South Salina Street, Syracuse, New York. Gary Gate has 5 goals and 3 assists. Brooke Chase on now with Maricek, Dumpson, Egan, Paul and Gary. Gary with the ball. Deflected but played behind by Egan. Gets away from Vaklis. Now Maricek and Dumpson. And Gary.
I think he told him to take some, I got to keep it in, told him to keep the ball moving and let's get some time off the clock.
If the ball goes out of the box now, you lose possession. Syracuse rotating it. A couple of Brown fans, I think, are yelling boring. It's about the only time you'd ever hear that applied to Syracuse. Minute and a half to go. Egan. And Vaklis. Now minute 25. Egan comes out. They've inverted. Egan shoots to the open cage. Rebound went in the direction of Brooke Chase. Minute 18 to go, and I think very shortly now the fans will rise to their feet like the end of a 15-round fight. Gary Gate from behind. Will we see one more goal from him in the Carrier Dome? 1 minute to go.
Egan just going to run it behind.
Egan back there with Emio Zizza. Syracuse 18, Brown 12. There's Maricek. Up top to Gary Gate. Gary.
Oh!
Gets it to Maricek. A couple of behind the back passes, and Rodney Dumpson adds goal number 19.
It's got the nicest release as Gary Gate looks, sees Rodney Dumpson after Maricek does behind the back to Dumpson, and Dumpson, woo!
And now Gary and Paul Gate are coming out of the lineup. They have their helmets off. Historic Roy Simmons on the sideline. Gary and Paul Gate getting a standing ovation, as are the rest of the Syracuse Orangemen, 13 seniors in all, as we're down now to 25 seconds to go. 19-12 Syracuse. And there it is. For the 8th time this year, Syracuse hits the 20-goal mark.
Heather, it's the equivalent of pulling the goalie in hockey as he comes out to try to play a little defense, and Brooke Chase puts it right in.
Joe Bonacci, Greg Burns, Dan Cahey, Brooke Chase, Rodney Dumpson, Jim Egan, Gary, Paul Gate, Matt Palem, Rob Persing, Kirk Pratt, Chris Robinson, and Dennis Simmons, all in their final Carrier Dome action. We're down to 10 seconds to go.
Quite a recruiting class.
20-12 is the score. as Brown, with 3 seconds, they shoot the save
nice.
by Hine, and that is it.
Nice time for a save.
It is all over as Syracuse returns to the Final Four of college lacrosse by defeating Brown 20-12. We will be right back in the Carrier Dome with our Pepsi Player of the Game and more after these words.
Read a lot by now about the physical dangers of drug and alcohol abuse. I'm sure you've also heard and read lots of stories about the emotional damage that drugs and alcohol can cause. I don't think you can hear those stories too many times. Don't ever forget, you can lose your dreams, you can lose your talent, you can lose your life. The price of a high is too high.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
It's all over in the Carrier Dome. Syracuse going to the Final Four, where they'll meet North Carolina in the semifinal game at Saturday at noontime. Princeton or Yale will play in the other game. Syracuse winning over Brown by a score of 20-12. Time now for our selection of the Pepsi Player of the Game. A lot of firepower from the offensive players, but the return of Matt Palem as the starting goalie. And he showed that he really wasn't lacking anything athletically, Dale, as he carried this one the length of the field, took a shot in more ways than one.
He took a heck of a shot. Yes, he did. And one thing I think that's important to remember is that he really is the guy that they depended on. Lee Hine backed him up capably, but he's the guy you want in the cage, and he did a great job today. 22 saves. Get a look at one right there.
And in the process, he broke Tom Nim's record for the most saves in a career in NCAA tournament play. Matt Palem, 22 saves today, back after arthroscopic knee surgery, and he's our Pepsi Player of the Game. And so the season continues for Syracuse as they head to the Final Four. This is the end of the line for us in terms of Super Sports coverage of Syracuse sports during the 1989-90 year. We're looking forward to football come September. We'll have all those games for you once again. Our next event coming your way, the Lacrosse USA Invitational in mid-June. On behalf of everybody at Cook Cablevision and Super Sports, and especially my partner Dale Drybpulcher, it's been our pleasure being able to bring you these games, sensational games, and great memories we hope that you'll have for many years to come. The producer and director of Super Sports, the very capable Frank Rafka. Our coordinating producer, the very organized Bob Drummondville. Man who makes it all happen technically, Tony Vidallo. Now this is Dave Cohen saying thanks for joining us and reminding you to be with us for the Lacrosse USA Invitational. Check the time and place in your area. It's coming up this summer. This has been a presentation of Super Sports and Cook Cablevision of Syracuse.
Can't help it. When I think of Brown University, I think of their marching band. I saw them a couple of years back during a game with Cornell in which their hats were on backwards. We're talking about the Brown University band. Their hats were on backwards. Some of their tubas were bent forward. I mean, it looked like Spike Jones' Americaneers or something.
Well, if you're in an Ivy League school, you got to have fun some way, I guess.
So I hope their lacrosse
hat. I get their lacrosse team had their hats on backwards, I guess, for part of the first half because they didn't do much offensively, so they probably had trouble seeing where they were going. Let's just just do the sports, I guess. Most people weren't wondering if SU would beat Brown today at the Dome. Instead, the question was, what would the Orangemen's margin of victory be? Well, it was 8 goals to be exact, as Syracuse is heading for the Final Four of lacrosse one more time. Syracuse puts this one away pretty quickly. Off the faceoff, Gary Gate to Paul, right behind the back. SU's up 1-0 early. 13 seconds later, Gary will score off the next faceoff. This one nothing fancy, just nice and straight ahead. 2-0 SU, 30 seconds into the ball game. The closest Brown would get would be within 1. Jay McMahon will beat Matt Palem on the bouncer. And it's 2-1 Syracuse in the first quarter. Syracuse scores the next 4, though. Rodney Dumpson will get the rebound off the goalie's face mask, actually, and he puts it in. 7-2 Syracuse after just 1 period. Second quarter, Syracuse outscores Brown 4-2. Jim Egan there on the doorstep with the score. 11-4 Orangemen at the break. On to the second half. Third quarter, big game as usual for Gary Gate. 5 goals, 4 assists, and this is the sideways version of Air Gate. 16-6 SU after 3. In the fourth quarter, more of the same for the Orangemen. Syracuse holds off a late Brown charge. Brooke Chase with the 20th goal of the game as SU goes to the semifinals for the 8th straight year with a 2012 win. And Mike Tirico has our post-game reaction from the Dome.
George, the story, not the fact that Syracuse won 20-12. Everybody figured Syracuse would win and score 20 goals. Really, the biggest story here today was the end of the Dome careers for the seniors, including the Gate brothers, and certainly was a bittersweet moment as they close out their careers in the Dome, but go on to the Final Four.
We felt that it was our last game, to show our appreciation for all the people in the stands and all the people that have come to the games. But personally, for ourselves as seniors being in here, this was an important game, but by far it's not our last. I'm not looking back at the years past. I'm looking ahead to next week, Saturday. So I'm going to try and keep that out of my mind right now.
If we had lost, it would have been awful, but it's sad, but yet I'm ready for the Final Four, and my career's winding down, and I can deal with that. That's not a problem. So, I'm psyched for the Final Four.
We're playing Syracuse in this quarterfinal round, but you got to beat Syracuse to win the national championship. For us, we had to beat them today, and it didn't happen.
We like to make people just as uncomfortable as possible, and that's a good way to do it. Get them behind to start with and let them know we're real.
So Syracuse, the seniors, and everybody else move on to the Final Four, the semifinals for the 8th straight year, where the Orange will face the North Carolina Tar Heels. At the Carrier Dome, Mike Tirico, News Center 5 Sports.
Thank you, Mike. And the Orangemen's opponent next Saturday at Rutgers Stadium in beautiful New Jersey will be North Carolina. They just whipped Harvard this afternoon down in North Carolina, 18-3. Rutgers losing to Loyola 19-10. That was the late game this afternoon. So Loyola will take on Yale, who beat Princeton. That is the other half of the Final Four. Hope you can join us.
Okay. Thanks, Hank. Tony's in next with sports, including all the action from the NBA playoffs and another up, another down for the Orangemen. How about those Bruins? That's your team.
I can't believe you did it. Yeah, and that's Hank's team, too.
And your intern's team.
Right, it's everybody's team, right? They bounced back today. We can't start with the Bruins, but big win.
You're going to jinx them now.
I know. I always do that anyway. How about the Knicks, too? Okay. I want to start with SU Lacrosse. Nobody gave Brown much of a shot in this one, and that's to be expected. A trip to the Final Four on the line, you never really know. You knew in this game, but you never really know. In any event, the Orangemen move on thanks to a 20-12 win, so it's back to the Final Four. And in so many ways, sometimes it really seems academic. They were up 10-3 in the second, and then they added another. That's Joe Bonacci. It was 11-3. Brown answered, unassisted tally by Tom Dwyer. But it was SU up 11-4 at the half. More to come in the second half. Gary Gate, what a great day again. 5 goals, 4 assists. One of them coming up right here to his brother, Paul, on this play. And the Gate brothers close out their Dome career with yet another win, 20-12, but they're far from finished.
Beating our last game, that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is to make our last game the game on Memorial Day.
They can just about do it all, and compounded by the fact that there's 2 of them. I think you could take one great player out of the game, but it's really difficult to take 2 of them out of the game. It just makes the problem so much more complex defensively.
So they win it by 8. There's the board. Again, it's on to Rutgers in the Final Four beginning Saturday. And guess what? Coming up is a rematch with North Carolina. Noontime, by the way, is the time on Saturday. The Orangemen won that first meeting back on opening day 14-9, but the Tar Heels were big winners today.